YouTube poop and its culture have been deeply examined over the past year, as we're able to view it more clearly in retrospect. However, there's an under-examined aspect of poop culture. Yeah, that's the shorthand I'm gonna go with. Fuck you. Is the actual creators behind YouTube poop. In this new series, I'd like to examine influential YouTube poop creators and their effect on this platform's formative remake genre. YouTube poop is a unique art form after all, and it's worth trying to deconstruct its history. And as someone who got to see many of these creators as they were creating, I'm going to start this series off strong with perhaps one of the best to ever do it, Orpheus FTW. I could have gone with other classics like Deepercutt, Walrus Guy, or even a personal favorite like Hurricoaster or Durham Rocker Z, but Orpheus FTW has arguably one of the most famous series in this entire genre. I know it's a normie pick, but we have to give credit where it's due. Let's get to it. Orpheus FTW started their channel in 2008, and they were active from 2011 to 2014. In 2022, they currently have 14 videos available to the public. Where Orpheus's catalog starts is somewhat ambiguous, as they went and deleted or unlisted over 40 of their videos. Their first YTP is speculated to be a King of the Hill YTP, and others claim it is one of the oldest King of the Hill YTPs ever. Besides Skooks, his other claims to fame were his King of the Hill collaborative YTPs.
Hello, everyone! Whoa!
If we look on Orpheus FTW's page on Internet Archive, we can see that there are a few King of the Hill YTPs on there that aren't currently available now. It's safe to assume these have been archived or they're on their channel unlisted. If anyone actually knows what the first one is, let us know in the comments below. It may be evident to you by now why I chose Orpheus FTW as the first subject of this series. The Misadventures of Skooks is, without a doubt, one of the best collections of poops ever. Almost everything about it was ahead of its time. The layered editing, the cogent sentence mixing, and the humor was balanced between the usual poopisms like loud noises and reverse words to well-timed and constructed jokes. While some of the editing in The Misadventures of Skooks seemed elementary by today's standard of poopage, still going with that, The Misadventures of Skooks was mind-blowing back in the day. The elaborate masking of the characters, the subtle color grading, the elaborate effects were blowing away anything else anybody was doing at that time in 2011. Within the first minute of episode 1, it's evident that Orpheus FTW was something special in the editing and effects department. Compared to other contemporaries like Durham Rocker Z, Orpheus looks so far ahead of the game. Correct me if I'm wrong, but something of this quality wouldn't be seen until Master Pooper's Harold Trotter series in 2014. God, saying most of the brief candid aside, like reading this out as I wrote this like, yeah, this makes sense, but just saying Master Pooper's Harold Trotter series in 2014, like my tongue is being just assaulted. Just trying to say this shit is incredible. It's just constant word salads. I love it. Part 1 through 3 of The Misadventures of Skooks would all be released in the latter half of 2011, but we wouldn't see Part 4 until 2 years later in 2013. In between the 4th release in their seminal series, Orpheus would branch off to do Copper Cab YTPs, which were very common at the time.
Say about rest. T-I-D-S. Every woman has two lumps on their chest. Let me tell you what you say. To get a bitch's ass. I should know. Tits or GTFO.
For those who are too young to know who Copper Cab was, they were famous for the Gingers Do Have Souls video and other overtly late 2000s provocative videos on YouTube. They're regarded as one of the very first troll channels. Orpheus also had a pretty good YTP of Hey Arnold with some meta elements about it.
This isn't looking too good. Like a big waste of time.
You failed!
Orpheus seemed to have more of an eclectic taste in media, as they not only used the film adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird as a source for a YTP, but also paid homage to Passage à l'Acte, an edit of the original film that echoes the same ethos as YouTube poop. Passagalocht was created by film deconstructionist Martin Arnold. The art film was supposed to distort time in a deliberate and obtuse way, akin to what YouTube poops do with linearity in general. What the actual meaning of it is up to speculation, but Orpheus FTW made a spectacular tribute to this art film in the form of a King of the Hill YTP. Hot Biscuits, the YTP that actually uses To Kill a Mockingbird, has some excellent masking and animation. If I had to speculate on Orpheus FTW as a person, they probably have a deeper appreciation for filmmaking, and especially editing. A constant throughout all their poops is the immaculate pacing and framing devices. YouTube poops don't have a proclivity for good pacing and deliberate storytelling. They're often just vehicles for humor and complex displays of remixing. Don't get me wrong, it's still a bunch of incomprehensible sounds and mashups of visuals, but if we take a good look at what others were doing at the time, this is a slow burn in comparison. Orpheus applies these newly christened skills and idiosyncrasies to Skooks Part 4. The vignettes feel so organized. Well, as much as they can be for a YouTube poop. The chaos and wild abandonment of YTPs from this era aren't echoed here. There aren't any wild transitions, rainbow color flashes, or even TV static. It all feels like it's in the hands of somebody who understands film editing. While I personally like this type of style, some people may find this to be too boring for a YouTube poop, and the reliance on masking and animation may take away from the kinetic nature of YouTube poop in general. However, as the years went on, the chaos of YouTube poop started to fizzle away anyway, and instead opted for something more readable. Which is insane to say, considering this happens in Skooks 4. The Misadventures of Skooks series would conclude with Part 5, and this 8-minute finale would have Deepercutt featured as a collaborator. And if you like this series, I'll be sure to make an episode just on Deepercutt, who has a pretty important legacy to YouTube poop of their own. Part 5 pushes everything to its limits. The effects, the jokes, the sentence mixing, the random dropping of the hard R. It was YouTube from 10 years ago. Slurs were all over the place. What do you want me to fucking do about it? End racism? No, but seriously, this is a great conclusion to the series. The synchronicity between Orpheus and Deepercutt give this poop a quality that is unmatched. It isn't as quotable or memorable as the previous entries, but the craftsmanship is so superb that it stands up with the other entries. I especially love the Street Fighter bit where it goes from a homage to Street Fighter IV by Orpheus, and then a Third Strike homage by Deepercutt.
Let's get started! Fight!
You broke his head off!
Now, find a new rival. Fighters ready. Engage.
Bow wow! Arf arf!
Alright, that's cool.
Brief aside, but Orpheus seemed to have had a subtle fixation on fighting games. After Skooks, they made a rudimentary MS Paint animation of Gootex and Mike Ross from the Cross Counter series, and have had multiple fighting game references in their poops. The last YTP that is listed as public is Reboob, part 1 of 48. Yeah, I failed to mention up to this point that Orpheus loves deliberately lying about the number of parts of his series. It's a really stupid gag, but I think people love it nonetheless. This poop is obnoxiously sexual and has a parody of the then popular MLG parodies after the midway point. Seeing as YouTube was going in that direction anyway, it kind of felt right to make fun of it. And you know, I'll probably eventually get to talk about that in retrospect. Even without diving deep into the creator culture of YouTube poops, Orpheus FTW being an influence on the scene would be an understatement. YouTube poops, despite their legacy on this platform, are still somewhat of a niche, But for several of their poops to have millions of views along with commenters still begging for their return can't be contested.
Let me swoosh right in, and we're in here are some of the most well-known YouTube poop gags of all time. By 2013, the culture of YouTube poop was changing as editors with higher ambitions than just doing reversals and making Mario say "fuck" started to populate YouTube.
Many on the YouTube and NewChew forums would claim that Orpheus FTW was a big inspiration on their work, often citing Skooks as being a gateway into YouTube poop for them. It isn't hard to see how the first 3 videos may have affected the landscape of YTP at the time. Orpheus's unique editing skills translated well to the forum and would set a high standard for years to come. Skooks' legacy would be fully appreciated years later when a collaboration was organized for the Return of Skooks in 2019. The fact a YouTube poop itself got a fan sequel is praise that doesn't need to be explained. And it's clear by this example that the reverence for these videos doesn't just end at other creators admiring them. If you go into the comments of Orpheus FTW's original uploads, you'll find some heartfelt comments about how their poops affected them. For someone who just turned the 70s Scooby-Doo cartoon into a highly inappropriate, inscrutable mess to garner this much praise is admirable. And I think this comment by Isaac Johnson puts it so succinctly. Coming back here to the last uploaded video to say we love you, Orpheus. 10 years ago, you made Skooks and forever changed my entire childhood. Your YTPs alone made me want to start video editing and creating YTPs. Everyone else was good, but you were the best. And you truly showed just how far and good a YTP can be. You created a whole new standard with your skills. 10 years later, I now have a job as a video editor, and it all started because Shaggy swoosed his way into my heart. I hope you're doing good, and again, bro, we love you with all our hearts. Thank you for bringing hours of entertainment to our younger years. Forever remembered, the swooser, Orpheus FTW.
What do you think of Orpheus FTW and their legendary catalog of YouTube poops? Do you want to see them return? What's your favorite video for them? Am I wrong? Am I a stupid piece of fucking shit? Let me know in the comments below and give me that sweet engagement. I need it to grow my social media empire so that when I burn out, people think I'm important enough to talk about when I have a public meltdown. And maybe I'll have a thread on the Kiwi Farms.
Seriously though, if you do like this video and want to see more of this series, let me know in the comments below. I love YouTube poops, but want to do it justice, so constructive feedback in the comments would be great. I'd love to be able to improve this series and find better ways of getting information than just perusing old YouTube forums. Thank you, and paste your script here. Wait, thank you. Fuck. I'm using like a teleprompter. I'm leaving this in. I'm using like I'm using a fucking online teleprompter, and it added and paste your script here at the end here. That's pretty fucking funny. Alright, I'm done with the video. Fuck you.